Well, we just, are we? How's that? Wow. Okay. Just wanted to wake you up, Mike. Well, welcome to the EBeam Services Ohio 3-plant ribbon cutting event. Is this the right volume, Patty? Okay, all right. We've invited a small but very select group of friends and associates. But I must tell you, we're also on video for EBeam's employees in New Jersey, in New York, in Indiana, and we have a wonderful gal in Florida that does a lot of our accounting work. So to a great extent, this is in communication and recognition of our employees who are willing to stand as long as I can, no, not that long. So, watch your behavior, Tim, because we're under video. Now, Sam will be doing some more introductions shortly, but I do want to point out, Jason Millard, our development director for the city of Lebanon, who's been helpful in different roles for years. We're hopeful that Martin Russell is going to be here. I guess there was a sudden passing of someone on that commission, so we'll catch up with Martin before long. Just briefly, this is a huge milestone for EBeam Services. It's our 5th electron beam accelerator, and even before this site is the most productive contract electron beam processing facility in the Western Hemisphere. And that's a lot of capacity. Sam's going to be talking about and introducing our favorite customer that's going to be part of the justification and utilization of this beam. The other thing is just Monday and Tuesday, little old EBeam conducted a cable cross-linking conference with experts from around the country, even around the world. We had people from Turkey, France, Netherlands, Germany, for a special marketing event. So I simply say that our Lebanon site here is pretty special with regard to this specialty. But allow me to say there's a guy in the audience that I met with 27 years ago, and EBeam was looking to expand somewhere in the greater Cincinnati area to build a frickin' electron beam processing plant. And this guy said, "Oh, I can help you. I can help you find the land." I said, "Yeah, but we got to build this crazy thing, call it an electron beam accelerator." He said, "Oh, we'll work with you. It's going to take 7-foot thick concrete walls." We can help you out. And Paul, we'll help you build your first plant of many. I said, "I'm just trying to survive one." But I'll let Sam introduce, but this is our 5th expansion, so Mike had a little better vision than I did in those days. But Sam, who else do we have here? Sam Stratman, our president.
So unlike Paul, who keep it brief, everybody can be a good overtime night for you, so don't worry. Their shift's usually till 11, at least second shift, they'll be fine. No, thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody, for making time to be here. This is pretty exciting. And yes, I'm going to do some introductions, and to no one's surprise, maybe maybe in the terms of a story. Maybe we'll take you on a little bit of journey and you can meet some key players here. And certainly Paul has already touched on the beginning of the story, but the consistent theme is the partners and the teammates and the people we have had as an organization and as a group for years and years and years. And I will tell you that for me personally, it is a big part of what is wonderful about working here, not only at EBeam, but in Lebanon, in Warren County, in Ohio, because you've got people to turn to, and they are awesome and supportive. And it begins almost 3 decades ago with Mike Schuler and Paul connecting that got the front half of this building built, some land purchased, a second accelerator, okay? And as Paul referred to, that's not just Mike and the development company and that side of Schuler, but our friends at Bunnell Hill Construction. And when I say friends, certainly Kevin is in that category, as well as a strategic partner. Ken May, I think, has been here every step of the way, putting every one of those things together. There is a bunch of concrete, there's a bunch of neat hardware, there's a bunch of stuff here that these guys have just continually facilitated for us. And it's a joy. And as I said to Ken, get the next one on the schedule. We don't know when it is, but we'll be looking forward to working with you on it. So you got to have a building, you got to have a facility, you got to work in a county like this where it's Jason, it's Brian, it's Martin, it's the Port Authority, it's everybody supporting you, asking you, what can we do to help? Reducing the electrical bill isn't going to happen. Jason tells me that every time I ask, but I do ask. We're just going to siphon it off from the data center over there. But again, partners, people you can turn to, people you know, people who become friends, partners. It's just a remarkable experience to get to do this and to know that we've done it multiple times. Okay, and you notice the one thing I will not spend a lot of time talking about is this kind of magical equipment here, and that's not because Mason, wherever you're hiding, our material handling supplier, those folks are here. But it's magic what happens here, but it doesn't happen without these people. Okay, so we've got land, we've got a building, we've got some material handling equipment, we've got this awesome county, the Port Authority, got all these people supporting us as we do this, right? Well, you also have this minor task of everything you see here, somebody bought, touched, installed, connected, hooked together, tested, okay? And that is this fabulous team of people, some of whom are standing behind you, who in some way, shape, or form have directly or indirectly put countless hours into making this work, or being inconvenienced by all of Kenny's dust, having to clean up after him while he's pouring all this concrete. Everyone in our organization, to include our team in New Jersey, who constantly sent people out here to help, collaborated on the technical details. You can't do it without a team we have here, and if you think about it, the story's going to end with them as well, okay? But who leverages all that, or who lets us do all that? We can't meet with Mike, we can't go to the county, we can't do anything else unless we look at the ownership and the people who we all together at EBeam are trying to serve, our shareholders, represented by Patty Mimbio back there. We can see a great supportive group of people who own this company and allow us to do these things, and an awesome board of directors represented by Tim Schoon over here, who, no matter how crazy the ideas are, managed to say yes and trust us to do it, and trust that these people are going to execute. And this is just a beautiful, and it looks beautiful, a beautiful manifestation of all of that coming together. And it's just really, really cool to be here, and really cool that you join us. Mr. Mimbio, you have a question?
But do we have any customers?
Customers? Oh, wait, we should have some. Wait, yes, we do. So, for decades, the DSG, that DSG Shaw Core, Shaw Flex, that relationship goes back decades for this company. So, a company, Toronto, Ontario company, for years making heat shrink tubing, cable. We have been a part of their business, supporting them with our beaming. And 2-3 years ago now at this point, in a pretty busy facility by the airport in Toronto that they were outgrowing and ready to get out of, and had reached out to us because they made the decision they want to relocate that heat shrink manufacturing business somewhere. And how could we and might we support them? Somewhere in the story is Dan being stuck in the car with me for 4 hours after a foam show, but we'll skip that part. He survived. You did survive, Dan. And through some interesting negotiation, but again, collaboration, partnership, where did we land? DSG is going to move that operation and is standing it up in Fairfield as we speak. And the accelerator that they operated for years, we beamed some of their other product that didn't fit well with that, is sitting up here in this machine room, and you'll see the business end of it when you walk in the vault, because they have demonstrated the confidence in us to support that business, and they know that operating these things can be tricky, finicky, frustrating, so they scraped it off on their friends who have 4 other ones. But what a statement of faith and support, and what a great customer and what a great relationship. And for you also, Daniel, and I have told a lot of people here this, they've heard it from me. Working with you over these past months has been the trust you guys have had, just the confidence that we could do this, and when I needed something, you got it. But your confidence that we would do this correct has put a ton of pressure on this team. We are excited to be here for you, and you will, and it is because of just the clear, I don't know how many times you told me, well, you guys know how to do this, and your behavior showed that you meant it. So I appreciate that personally. We as a business are just excited about what we're going to do together and excited about your growth. And so I'm going to turn this over to you for a little bit before we cut the ribbon. But thank you, everybody, and thank you to our fantastic EBeam team here and in New Jersey and in Florida and in Long Island, because in the end, this is for you, so that we can go forward and do great things for great customers like DSG. So, thank
you. Sam, you took most of what I was going to say. It's like we shared notes. Bear with me here. I don't have my spectacles, so I have to zoom in. So, thank you, Sam, for introducing me. My name is Daniel Martins. I'm the VP of Global Operations for DSG Canusa. DSG Canusa is a heat shrink tubing manufacturer. We have locations, manufacturing locations in Toronto, Ontario, Suzhou in China, and Rheinbach, Germany. Each of these 3 sites produces heat shrink tubing. Coincidentally, these 2 reels are heat shrink tubing. Some of the, again, does anybody know what heat shrink tubing is? Well, it is tubing that shrinks when you apply heat to it. Ba-dum-bum. So just technically a little bit how it's made and why this asset behind me here is really critical. All of our products are made with thermoset polymers. They all have to go through a cross-linking process. The majority of our products are cross-linked using an electron beam. And as Sam mentioned, we had been operating an accelerator in our Toronto site for 20 plus years. And it was pretty critical to our business. And we know, certainly as well as the team here at EBeam knows, any kind of failure that you have, we had one accelerator, so it was all hands on deck, and it was chaos. And we thought to ourselves, we're going to maybe build a new factory. Do we want to have this challenge? Why don't we work with the experts here at EBeam to take that off our plate? They're the experts. They have multiple accelerators. They forgot more this morning about beaming materials than I suspect we'll ever know. So, as Sam mentioned, about 3 years ago, and it was sort of an interesting confluence of events. We operate out of a facility in the Toronto area. It dates back to like the 1940s or 1950s. We're landlocked. We operate 2 manufacturing operations out of that facility. Shawflex, they're a wire and cable manufacturer, and DSG Canusa, the heat shrink tubing manufacturer. And we both had no space to grow. So we made the decision as an organization, Matter, our parent company, it was time to relocate from the Toronto area to allow both of these businesses to grow. And we began a search of, really in the beginning, the Toronto area for a new location for our site. And it became evident relatively quickly that we needed to find a different location for DSG. Its customer base is predominantly in North America, here in the U.S. All of our suppliers are predominantly in the U.S., and we only existed in the Toronto area simply because that's where the business grew from. So we made the decision, go to the U.S., started looking at all the different markets that, or the different geographies where we can locate in. We already had an existing distribution center here in Ohio. We had an existing great partner that can provide irradiation services here in Ohio. And through some of these conversations, we found a solution that worked great for both organizations. You know, an accelerator to service our products, and we decided to open up a brand new facility about 20 miles away in Fairfield. So we are, like the team here in EBeam, in the midst of our own big growth phase. We're standing up a 200,000 square foot facility of new manufacturing equipment. We have, you know, in the town of Fairfield, we're closely working with the town to, you know, whether it's incentives, whether it's training, but, you know, it's really the creation of 50 to 60 jobs. So really exciting period for us, and scary. You know, we don't build factories that often, but it was really important for us to have, you know, a great partner in Sam, Paul, and the full EBeam team to take really this really critical, magical process that somehow turns the products that we make into heat shrink tubing. And without it, we don't have a business. So on behalf of DSG Canusa, I just want to congratulate everyone here. It's unbelievable what you see here. I saw what it looked like when it was in Toronto, and it doesn't look like the same assets. So great job, guys, and we look forward to growing for decades to come.
The EBeam employees have heard me say, I think quite a few times, what's really the one thing you need to be in business? The answer is a customer. And we've got a very fine customer and customer relationship. So thank you, Daniel. And that pays a lot of salaries and some of the overtime, because I'm wasting time here so they can get back to, anyway, that's a different story. All right, what we're going to do, oh yes, you know what, I forgot to bring it. So, oh boy, thank you, Elaine. Part of our agenda, I think, is we're going to do the ribbon cutting with, I think, maybe 3 sets of photographs. I mean, the first group, we actually cut the ribbon and I guess open the door, and then we'll also do it with some of our key employees and some other mechanisms. So, well, I'll just say there's 3 photo groups, and Jessica will, just as she organized the cable consulting conference the last 2 days, will keep me on board. Then it'll be time for a tour, tour of the operations. It's going to be self-guided tours, and there'll be 3 stations. So if you rotate yourself, you can start wherever you want. One of the stations will be where Dan Yasenchek is. That's our booth. We'll talk about what EBeam Services does generally. I think the second station, hiding behind, is a sign, and that's Daniel Patterson, our project engineer. And for those brave enough to go inside the vault room, we'll have the opportunity to see the business end of the machine, some fabulous stainless steel equipment, etc. So that's a real treat. And then an additional stop with Dan Yasenchek, actually beyond that, around the bend, and I hope the gates will be open so we can go in and see the material handling equipment that it made its way from Germany with EBeam's proprietary design that does all the wide variety of project that Daniel and his people send us. They can't just decide on one size. They got to have little ones, they got to have big ones, they got to have all kinds of stuff. That's all right. We can do it. We can do it. So, we'll do the self-guided tours, and then we'll do the ribbon cutting, the photos, the self-guided tour, and only then do you get to have some refreshments down there. And if you pass the quiz, then there's Grader's ice cream. I shouldn't have said that because there goes the tours. Anyway, and something special as a memento. I know some of you maybe have received this pretty special thing called a Lichtenberg tree. It's got a unique tree pattern, and it's made with a few million volts of electricity, and it puts a layer of electrons in the middle of this plastic that just happens to have a very nice EBeam Services logo. Isn't that interesting? And all the electrons are trapped in there with all that power, and then when you put a grounding rod here with literal flashes of lights, all of those electrons want to go home, and they leave this trace. So if we haven't given you one of these before on your way out, it's a pretty special paperweight. So with a lot of technology, and there's no more voltage, I assure you. It's been discharged fully. So Mr. Sam. Well, I guess, should I say something about Jessica Johnson? Is that what you? It might be. Miss Jessica, would you stand up? It's just tall. Not that tall. And Jessica helped us put on that cable cross-linking conference for an international group. That took a lot of planning, a lot of coordination. That was very successful. Who else? Where's Gustavo? Dr. Gustavo Varca. We extracted him from Brazil 5 years ago, and he's doing business development for us. I want to point out our marketing expert who's been helping us for a number of years. She's as an employee, but she has so much work capability that she not only helps us with some of our splashy good colors, but she does it professionally. So where's Olivia? Yeah, Olivia, thank you. So, anybody? Should we say something nice about Elaine, other than the fact that she bailed me out with this? Yeah, our executive assistant, who kind of runs the company, truth be told, Elaine Threm. And Erica, who's our multi-purpose Swiss Army knife at the front desk with all kinds of help. And luckily she doesn't apply her legal assistance too often. But and where's Bob Brown? Keep your hands off her. Okay. All right. And so thank you, Erica, for your help. So. A lot of stuff went into this. So I guess the first group for photos, we want Sam and Daniel and Jason and Tim to, and Mike Schuler. How did I miss that? Behind the ribbon for our staged big-time ribbon cutting.
Right in there.
Just like sheer magic.
Because I'm skiing.
Are we good to go?
pictures.
Okay, all I can say is Gustavo checks the scissors. I'm just telling on him right now. It's a,
All right, now I guess group two. Who's group two?
come on, everybody. I like everybody.
Can I keep the scissors?
Yes, gotta have the scissors.
Is group 2 many people?
Stand right there, Daniel. We're gonna get some more of this crowd. These old people getting back.
Yeah, I'm a back.
You and Jessica have been in the back.
All the tall people are in the back.